Alright, hello, citizens of the Nigelverse. It is Nigel once again. Better late than never, I guess. This is going to be not only a wrestling review, but a very long overdue one on this event, and actually happened last Saturday. Hey, I'm talking about WWE Payback. Why is it so late? Hey, so I missed a couple matches because I was at work, and so I had to go back and watch those. But then stuff kept coming up. I even overslept on a couple days, so I kept putting it off. But putting it off no longer. We're finally getting into it, and of course, after tomorrow's episode of System Shock Radio on a Sunday, we will be reviewing All Out. Which that one will be a week late. This one's almost a week late, but All Out will be a week late. Yay! But nonetheless, as I finally went back and watched the two matches that I missed, funnily enough, I guess it makes sense because I was at work, but these are the first two matches they had on the card. But otherwise, I'm not professional wrestling reviewer, analyst, just a man who enjoys a good time, which I definitely had for the most part with this show. We see a couple examples of like some iffy builds leading into some really good matches. So as always, if you've seen these reviews of mine before, you kind of already know how this works. If you haven't, let me talk about what I like and dislike about the event. I'm gonna go match by match. Starting with the first match, we have a steel cage match as Becky Lynch battled Trish Stratus. And you remember how I mentioned some of those matches with kind of iffy builds resulting in some great matches? This one definitely was arguably like match of the night. This match was phenomenal. Just both women really slugging it out, really going to town on each other. Or you felt the emotion and everything between Becky Lynch and Trish Stratus as they fought throughout the cage. Trish Stratus' first steel cage match, there was homages such as Becky Lynch with the Twist of Fate shouting out Lita, and then Trish Stratus, which Michael Cole, which this is why we love Michael Cole, pointing out Trish Stratus hit Becky Lynch with the Widow's Peak, aka Victoria's move. Victoria was in a steel cage match with Lita. Good on you, Michael Cole. This is why you're the voice of WWE. But also, I do have to mention on commentary, I very rarely mention commentary unless it really adds something to the match, to the match, but also to the event, and or significantly takes away. In this case, Michael Cole and Corey Graves, because we're in Pittsburgh tonight, there's a lot of Pittsburgh references, especially with Corey Graves being from Pittsburgh, and you pretty much saw it coming, but there was a lot of Pittsburgh jokes and references, and throughout pretty much the entire night, right? And it was funny though. It was pretty. It was pretty funny, though. Pretty funny banter for the most part. But yeah, so Becky and Trish definitely went all out with this match. No pun intended, obviously, to the other event we have to review. But Becky and Trish really brought it. Zoe Stark showed up and interfered on Trish's behalf. You know, the one thing the steel cage was supposed to prevent. And Michael Cole pointed out saying, Zoe Stark being here is the thing that the steel cage is supposed to prevent. Steel cages is the match that's supposed to prevent outside interference, but has it anyway. But nevertheless, Becky Lynch still picking up the win, and with a manhandle slam on Zoe Stark, and then a super handhandle slam on Trish Stratus is from the top turnbuckle. But then afterwards, Trish turned on Zoe Stark, pushing her away, slapping her. So Zoe Stark hit her with the Z360. So now looks like either her for all intents and purposes, it seemed like Becky and Trish are done here. They're done in this feud. Becky finally gets her win over Trish. Her definitive no shenanigans win, even though there was some Zoe Stark shenanigans, but it was on Trish's behalf. But Becky gets her shenaniganless win. And now it looks like Trish may or may not feud with Zoe Stark now. But yeah, really, really awesome match. A really great way to open the show. Match of the year candidate. I don't know if I'd go that far, but it was still really, really solid. Match of the night, maybe. But next up we have have LA Knight battling the Miz. These two have been at each other's throats for a few weeks now, including the Miz mocking LA Knight. So now it all comes to a head here. But John Cena, who is the guest host for Payback, and John Cena doing some of the stuff he was doing, not just with this segment slash match, but also with the interview that we'll have later on John Cena. It's good to have you back, John. But as for this match, LA Knight picking up the win over the Miz. Was there any doubt? Still a really good match, and John Cena being the special guest referee, he calling it pretty much right down the middle. Well, for the most part, not really showing favoritism to either guy, even though he admitted he doesn't like the Miz, but does respect him. So, and which leads to some kind of banter between John Cena and the Miz. And this is before the match, I should say. The whole John Cena talking with the Miz and everything. The Miz doesn't want John Cena to be special guest referee, but John Cena makes himself special guest referee anyway. But LA Knight picking up the win over the Miz, and the Miz and not the Miz, John Cena, LA Knight and John Cena having a show of respect. John Cena raising LA Knight's hand on the rampway, pretty much giving him that shining Cena endorsement, and is Cena to LA Knight, and it looks like LA Knight might have it. So apparently LA Knight, they're trying to get him to re-sign, and it looks like he might have. Apparently there's a bunch of people they want to re-sign to WWE, which on the 12th looks like also worth mentioning, on the 12th, the WWE and Endeavor deal will be finalized, meaning Shoto Todoroki will be making his WWE debut anytime soon. But no, in all seriousness, WWE and Endeavor looks like they're going to finalize their deal on the 12th. So there's that. But Cena giving the endorsement to LA Knight, and LA Knight, apparently now that LA Knight is re-signing, or at least looks like close to re-signing, now he'll finally get that push. So it looks like, according to reports, they were waiting to see if LA Knight would re-sign before giving them that push. Triple H, when you're talking about why you didn't push LA Knight, the fact that he didn't re-sign yet, that's all you had to say. Why'd you give us whole rigmarole of patience and stuff? No, just say it's because he hasn't resigned yet. We're not sure he's gonna resign. That's all you had to say, Triple H. You didn't have to give us the loop-de-loop, the runaround, the rigmarole. But nevertheless, LA Knight gets the win here again. Was there any doubt? If the Miz won this one, it would be, for starters, I feel like it would be pointless, but it would also be infuriating. It'd be surprising in a bad way. Like the Miz, by this point, I think I mentioned this before on the channel, the Miz is someone who, due to his longevity and due to the work and the years that he's put in, he can take some losses and still not really have his stock drop in WWE that much. He's still a major focal point of the show and everything. He's still a major superstar within WWE, so he can afford a few losses. I know a lot of people look at The Miz or Chris Jericho in AEW, them losing all the time sucks, but they're at their point in their careers where they can have a few losses and not really have their stock drop. But LA Knight definitely needed this win, and it looks like this is the start of the real push for LA Knight. For real this time, LA Knight finally gonna get that push. Yeah, but next up for the United States Championship, Rey Mysterio defended the U.S. title against Austin Theory. Pretty solid match. With Rey Mysterio picking up the win, and the LWO able to celebrate as well with Mysterio. Meaning the turn isn't happening yet, but I kind of figured Austin Theory wouldn't win here. I really didn't want him to win because I want Rey to hold it for a little bit, at least maybe a month or two, before he drops it to Santos Escobar or LA Knight. But yeah, but still pretty decent match between Ray and Austin Theory. There's rumors that Austin Theory might turn face, which honestly, like at this point, I think a face turn probably would benefit him. Like people are kind of getting sick of him as a heel, and while I haven't seen his work as like a face, a lot of people say he's better as a face than heel. Whether or not he'll get to showcase that, we'll see. Yeah, so Rey Mysterio gets the win here and retains the U.S. Championship. Then next up is the Steel City Street Fight as the Judgment Day battle Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. This match was a lot of fun. Like there's matches that are good because of technical work or because of work rate. Hey, you have your classics. It's your 30-minute classics, as Big E described it. Your 5-star matches, your 30-minute classics. You got your technical masterpieces, and then sometimes you just have some fun car crash insanity. But car crash insanity, even though car crashes usually aren't good, but like just all kinds of fun insanity. And this match definitely was a lot of fun insanity. Judgment Day and the Judgment Day, that being Finn Balor and Damian Priest, and Ripley giving the ultimatum that if they don't walk out with the gold, some changes are going to happen in the Judgment Day. But Finn Balor and Damian Priest going against Owens and Zayn here, brawling pretty much throughout the arena, even having a moment where Owens, who is like busted open, and at some point in the match, although I might have missed exactly when he got busted open, and Sami Zayn are in like the hockey jerseys. He's throw down their gloves, and we got ourselves a hockey fight, fun moments like that. Kevin Owens doing a whole swanton on off like the crowd area into Dominic Mysterio, who inevitably interfered, and there was a whole bunch of interference. And Dom interfered, JD McDonough interfered, heard Rhea Ripley interfered, heard the Judgment Day coming in full force here, but ultimately Dominic using the Money in the Bank briefcase helps Balor and Priest pick up the win over Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens, and so they finally win the tag team championships. And they celebrate and everything. Hopefully this means JD McDonough is in the Judgment Day finally, but also hopefully this means that this feud is finally over. Or like I said, another case of like an iffy feud leading to a really solid match. Please let this be the end of the feud. We don't want to see these two fight anymore. Now, if they fight later on down the line, that's different, but in terms of that, we don't want to see them fight anymore. We see them fight week after week. Please just let the Judgment Day move on. Apparently, new titles are going to be introduced on Raw, and I imagine this time will be the tag team titles, as they'll either split them or do what they did with like the women's championship, where they're given like new names and stuff, or with like the world championships. But hopefully this means that this feud between Judgment Day and Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn is over. Or even though I know Sami Zayn, I think, challenged one of the members on Raw, so. Can we please just end this feud? There's plenty of other tag teams. What are these two teams? Look, I have nothing against anybody involved here. Like, the Judgment Day is on fire. The Judgment Day is awesome. All the members of the Judgment Day are awesome. I like all the members of the Judgment Day. I like Finn Balor. I like Damian Priest. Dominic Mysterio is an annoying little whiny brat, and he's really coming into his own. Rhea Ripley, Mommy, of course, is fantastic. JD McDonough, the stuff I've seen of his, as I'm starting to get more familiar with him, is really good. I love Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens, and their chemistry and everything. Sami Zayn being a lovable dork, Kevin Owens being Kevin Owens, and they have great chemistry in the ring. But can we please end this feud now? Can it end here? Can it please end here? Or I don't want to see this feud anymore. Or I don't. I honestly don't. No offense to either team, but they deserve better than just the same match over and over and over again with the same thing over and over and over again. Please just let it end. And also, it's worth mentioning, Damian Priest now has a new Money in the Bank briefcase. Now that he's Senor Money in the Bank, it's all purple and everything, so that's nice. But hopefully this means, please just end the feud here. Please. Please, I'm begging you. I'm begging you. Please just end it here. But next up, speaking of Rhea Ripley, she defends her Women's World Championship against Raquel Rodriguez. Another pretty decent match. Raquel Rodriguez, I don't know if I don't think this is her first. Let me know if in the comments if I'm wrong about this, but I don't think this is her first one-on-one shot at Women's Championship Gold on the main roster. I know she was NXT Women's NXT Women's Champion, I should say, but I don't think she's challenged for the women's title like one-on-one. Yeah, I know she was in the Elimination Chamber, although I think that was just like number one contendership. But I don't think she's challenged for the women's championship yet, or she might have. Let me know if she has in the comments. And I don't recall her challenging for like one-on-one for the championship in a match like this. But otherwise, and Rhea Ripley, shout out to her with the China-inspired gear, which was pretty cool to see. But both these women did pretty well against each other. Her definitely very similar styles, both like very strength and power based, and they definitely put it over on commentary, and that was kind of the story they were weaving with this match, is that both women are very strong, very powerful. Raquel has that very nice back that she has to show off every single time, but ultimately Rhea Ripley picks up the win with some help from Dominic Mysterio, because of course, and I'm surprised Dominic even came out at all after like having the crap beat out of him by Owens and Zayn, including that swanton from Owens. I'm surprised Dominic's out here at all, but nevertheless, Dominic helping Rhea retained here, so Rhea is still Women's World Champion, and yeah, pretty solid. And then finally, actually before we get to the main event, and I do have to mention there was the Grayson Waller effect with Cody Rhodes, special guest, as Grayson Waller, Cody Rhodes kind of do their thing for a little bit before Cody reveals that he used his power, or used his influence, and Michael Cole even referenced it on Raw, how Cody used to be an EVP. Ew, whew, a strong one. But Michael Cole made the joke that Cody used to be EVP. Oh man, I love Triple H era Michael Cole, because he's allowed to almost say pretty much whatever he wants. If he wants to reference another company, he can. But Cody Rhodes introduces the newest Raw superstar, that being main event Jey Uso. Oh, if you remember Jey Uso, after losing at SummerSlam via brother betrayal, via his brother Jimmy, Jey quit WWE, he quit the Bloodline, he quit SmackDown, all of it, but now he's back here, all of like a couple weeks. So Jey Uso pretty much did the CM Punk thing, and, although I think CM Punk was gone for a little longer, if I'm not mistaken, but nevertheless, Jey Uso's back here. He's now on Raw. They even had a segment on Raw this week where he reunited with Sami Zayn. You know, they did the whole Goosey thing, and nice continuity though. Because like Drew McIntyre and Matt Riddle and others still aren't very trusting of Jey Uso, because, well, yeah, the Bloodline, they there's a reason Randy Orton's not on Raw anymore, or at least in storyline. The real life reason is because he's back, sadly. But yeah, so there's that. But speaking of back, it's time for the main event, and that, of course, being Seth freaking Rollins defending the World Heavyweight Championship against Shinsuke Nakamura, which this feud stemming after Nakamura turned on Seth Rollins, revealed that he knows about Seth's bad back, which is legit, that Seth injured back in, I believe, 2019, and that Seth has been working through ever since, man. Which, man, Seth Rollins is a trooper. Like, he deserves vacation. He deserves vacation. Roman deserves vacation. Mox deserves vacation. All three of them, all three members of the Shield should, like, take a vacation together. Like, take a group vacation. Because, man, and definitely, carrying their respective brands for the most part. But nevertheless, as Seth and Shinsuke bringing Seth's family up and going after them. So now Seth is out for Shinsuke Nakamura's head. And this match also pretty solid. Seth Rollins picking up the win, which a lot of people felt like Shinsuke should pick up the win. And honestly, I could see it. But at the same time, don't know if they're going to take the World Championship off of Seth quite yet. But I think this was a really good time to take it off of Seth. Like, let Shinsuke win the world title. He hasn't had a world title gold on the main roster yet. Let him hold it for a little while. He'll give Seth that time to recover, and then maybe Seth wins it back later on down the line. But instead, Seth Rollins picked up the win here. Pretty solid. Both men capable of putting on a solid match. Both men capable of putting on a solid match against each other, and that's essentially what we got here. And Shinsuke obviously targeting the back, and Seth almost every move, like the back is wincing. He's wincing and everything because he keeps hurting the back. And stuff like that, but Seth ultimately picks up the win over Shinsuke, and there was kind of an awkward moment at the end where it was delayed on them, on Seth and Shinsuke for a little while before the show does go off the air. But then after the show, Shinsuke attacks Seth. So my theory, and the theory of a lot of other people, is that the attack was supposed to happen on air, but because it didn't happen then, they kind of had to make do after the show. After the show went off with Shinsuke attacking Seth, and then Shinsuke would attack Seth the next night on Raw as well. So things looking like they're far from over between the two. But yeah, but Seth is still your world champion. But that is going to do it for Payback. Sorry it came out so late, but I'm glad I finally caught up on the two matches, especially the opening, which I think is definitely the match of the night. It's that steel cage match because it is really, really good stuff. As for, I think, the weakest match of the night, maybe I might have to give it to LA Knight and The Miz. It's honestly it was a decent match. It was still a pretty good match, and the shtick with John Cena was pretty funny. But at the same time, I'm almost kind of like you knew who was gonna win the match there. But that wouldn't be the weakest, but the strongest, the steel cage match, and maybe the tag team title match. But nevertheless, that's going to do it for this review. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please do me a favor: like, comment, subscribe, share with your friends, turn on post notifications so you know every time I upload a video, so you can see as soon as it drops. Let me know in the comments what your thoughts on the event and my review. Did you dislike Payback? Did you dislike my review of Payback? Let me know. Thank you all so much for watching. System Shock Radio, obviously tomorrow, All Out on Sunday. My review of All Out, that is. But nevertheless, thank you all so much for watching. I will see you guys later. Peace.